next round on this. I need to get it right.
You know, that's from the moment you reach in that house, I am your father because this is my house. You understand me? This is my house. I don't care what you do at your home. I don't care what you do at your home. This is my home and my rules. And
The child maybe say, Mom, Dad, whatever, so and so situation happening. You lie, you sure, really? No, not this person. That will never happen. That person is too good to me to do that or affect you in that way.
Yeah.
How many of us have siblings? How many of us get the same treatment our siblings get?
Yeah, no problem.
No.
Real Folks Only Podcast.
all right, good night, everyone. Tonight on Grown Folks Only podcast, we're gonna talk about how difficult it is to just be in a relationship. But when you add the layer dynamic of a blended family consists of children from a previous relationship, whether it be from annulment or deaths. So tonight, as if relationships aren't hard enough, we're going to talk about do's, don'ts. What comes first, the child, the parent, or the other side? Open the floor to our brand new guest. Hello, Simone.
Brand new.
Where's everybody over here?
Hi. Yeah.
And welcome to our live audience.
Yeah.
Big up the live audience.
We all came back. Yeah.
We're here with our Crew Up Thursdays. First round on us, next round on you. No, it's actually first round on you, next round on us. I need to get it right.
You know, that's what I told her last night, but... Oh, what's the next round? Next round would be, I don't know. Anyhow, back to the topic. We're talking about do's, don'ts, boundaries for stepkids, step-parents, and what if you're the parent on the other side witnessing your little baby going to that monster's arms?
Monster.
Monster.
What do you know about the person to be calling him a monster? Though?
Right.
First, I think it's important to know who we bringing around. If you're in another relationship, you got out of another relationship, you have a child or children involved. It's important to know who you're getting involved with and who you bring around your children. I think that's important before you even start involving them in that relationship. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree that assessing who is going to be around the child and who you're going to be introducing your child to. I also think that it's important to have healthy communication, as healthy as possible, with the existing parent, the biological parent of the child, because that then influence or makes it easier to communicate and say, hey, well, I have been dating this person for some time and I want to take it serious and I'm ready to introduce that child to that person to our child. I think if the communication between the biological parents are healthy, the introduction becomes healthier with the outside partner and the child. Because then now you could get to assess and see who is going to be around your child.
Okay, so KM, what do you look for? Is it different from when you're dating or now that you're a parent? Are you looking for the same things in a partner? Give me some insight. I want to date you. I see they're looking nice at the bar there. And you have your little kid by, I don't know that. So what would you be looking for in a partner? And give me a little time frame.
A time frame in terms of when I think it's right to introduce you to my child?
Like when you think it's right to expect to see these things from me as a man interested in you. And you don't tell me about your child.
I'm a little bit conflicted.
We just meet at the bar, right? Mm-hmm. And I like to see you, whatnot.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And in the back of your mind, you're thinking about you just break up with that fella there. They put you through hell, 9 months, whatever. He not meeting your expectations. So me as the next man, what do you expect from me with regards to your son?
Well, I would first assess you as your own individual. I would not even compare you to my previous relationships. I may make a mental note of what I experienced in that relationship, but I think it is important to assess people for their own, like whatever they show you, and not, if you realize characteristic traits of somebody you're interested in, and it's similar to something that you went through in your past relationship, you could probably bring it up. But I think you are a blank page, you are new, and so I have to assess you based off of your own character and what you portray to me, right? And then based off of that, I also think transparency is important. So I would communicate with you, hey, I'm not too sure if I'm really ready to look for somebody, but I just came out of something that was bad for the past 9 months or whatever. However, there is a child involved. And so if you are interested in whatever, so at least you as a new individual, you get an understanding of what you are getting involved with.
Okay, all right, Femi. So you just meet Carol there. Carol looking nice by the bar there. Then you see he go to put your number in his phone and you see his son on his screen, right?
How old?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Because if it's a child, then that's a different story. If
Well,
the child is older, then I could care less.
Well,
You're big on your son.
You big and you have sense, doggy.
so would that change? How would you adjust yourself? You seeing this man is mature. Of course, he passed 20, so he might have a child.
Right.
And
My first thought is, or first thing that I would want to know if we were going forward with our relationship or meeting at that point is, how is your co-parenting relationship with you and your child mother? Because if it's a bit toxic or rocky, I'm out.
That's problems.
Because that means problems to me.
okay, so street talk. You want to know if you have baby mama drama.
Right. Period.
Carol, I see you festering there. Let's hear what you have to say, bro.
Age wouldn't matter to me. The main thing, the factor would be if we're talking 25 years ago or we're talking now.
Whatever time you're mature,
All right. So, but let's just say we're talking modern times. My main problem would be is if a young lady has a younger kid, we all know the social norm now is that they want to know what your wallet is and not what kind of man you are.
Rich.
What you can provide financially and not nurturally, if there's a word for it. That's a word. But so for me, I like kids. So I don't care if you were born yesterday or you're 15 years old. It doesn't matter to me. The fact is, a little bit of what Femi said, I want to know what your relationship with the kid's father. If they're fathers, I would watch you even more.
You'd want to.
You understand? I would watch you even. No, I would watch you even more. I would watch you even more.
I was just about to say,
But
don't see
you can't judge a book by its cover unless there's been 3, 4, 5 authors. Then you have a problem.
There are some guys that like it rough, I have a partner like that. They like
What?
when they have 4, 5 children.
And 4 or 5 baby fathers. Jesus Christ.
Now, Carol, you made mention of something. You said that when a woman has a child and they're dating, when they next partner, they're looking at financial
I said a
stability.
social norm.
Social norm.
Yes.
It's financial stability. But I'm not disagreeing, by the way. I'm agreeing. I just also think that, well, I could speak for myself, my situation, that the child has a biological father. He has a biological parent. Therefore, the responsibility, I believe, lies between the two biological parents. However, if we have started dating and the situation is about to be serious and you're involved, I do think that there is some expectation, and it may not even be financial, but at least presence
Yeah.
to say that
Like being a good role.
going a
I
good
fully agree.
right, a
I
good
fully
role
agree.
model. However, we get married and we're living in a house together. You telling me if the child needs financial stability as well. If I'm able, if I fall short, you would not chip in.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
But
So I
that's
also
different.
think-
That's now a different stage though.
So it has to be married.
I'm talking about I
I'm
need
just saying,
you.
but that's expected because you're now one. You're now husband and wife. It's a whole different ball game, in my opinion. If we are just
Dating.
in a relationship or living together in a relationship.
You don't think they should take care of the child?
I didn't say I don't think that they should, but that should be on their owners to decide if they want to or if they feel the urge
shouldn't be a
to fight. It shouldn't be an expectation that I must financially take care of your child. I didn't lie down to make it, so I shouldn't have to take care of said child.
I agree, but I also feel
Because if they have a parent, but if they do have a parent and the parent is in that child's life, why are they not financially providing for said child?
Can we
If they
hear-
are not, then that's a different
Let me hear what the
story.
man has to say about this.
Go right ahead.
The thing is, if I've just, let's just say I've gone out and I met a young lady by the bar, she has a 1.5-year-old, all right? I don't expect her to start with the, I would like to stay, but I have to get up early because my baby need Pampers or I need to get milk. From the moment you start like that, I already know that's where they say it. But if we date in a few months, right, and then we then, connect physically and everything already, and if I'm feeling generous, I'll pitch in for a tin of milk. I'll give you a pack of diapers. That's as a human being, I see nothing wrong with that. But don't expect, because I'm the one diving in the pool that child came from, that automatically the onus is on me now. Sometimes the baby father is providing, but now you see two incomes coming in. That's the mentality that I'll be looking for.
I agree.
But
I agree 100.
Agreed.
Carol, so you're looking at women at the bar who have a 1-year-old or 2-year-old?
That's all. What you just give me that example.
That was an example.
Yes. If I go at the bar and you have a 2-year-old, like, what about business?
High five, Jesus.
Anyhow,
Red flag. Red flag. Red flag.
because you still breastfeeding and you're not drinking on that.
I will go for a bottle of Baileys.
Some people
Hey,
just
one year,
breastfeed 5 years old.
Come on, listen.
Hey, you're choking me with that cross
Sorry.
Choking me with that cross talk there. Simone, let's hear what you have to say about that. You see me there? I have a little child there. How you feel about that?
Okay.
Are
Younger
we
Simone
confessing?
would have not liked the idea of dating somebody with a child, but older Simone in her 30s is more comfortable with the idea. However, if the child is less than 10, I don't think anything.
Why
would
is that?
have- I feel like those are such important years in a child's life. And I know, speaking personally, as someone who has witnessed her father who is married to somebody else, my mother who was dating, I didn't like that dynamic.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, I went through the phase of, well, my mommy and daddy to be together, but then I got over that. But it's like, I never had to doubt that my parents put me first, but it was still uncomfortable for me to think of, them dating or being with somebody else. So that's one side of it. Me now, right now, while I understand that I'm meeting people who have different experiences, I'm open to it, but you see, when it has more than one baby mothers and the child is like really young, I think that's where it gets a bit iffy for me.
Agreed.
Now, you touch on a very interesting point. Who comes first? The partner or the child? Say you had a child.
See, I had a child,
Yeah.
it'll be even more difficult.
How
'cause
deep into the relationship are you?
What?
How deep into
That's
the
where the
relationship?
time factor comes in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and just I'll be I think more cautious of who I bring around my child's life, especially if, for example, my child's father isn't the best or he's a deadbeat. Even if he's there, I think it'll be kind of nerve-wracking to enter into a relationship like that.
Okay, I see Kay have something clicking in her brain there.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's such a, I don't want to say a stigma, but I can't think of no other word right now. So I'm
Okay,
going to
let's
use
call it a stigma.
stigma. There's a stigma around persons are very uncomfortable dealing with people who have children, like from outside relationships, and then they meet the person. You would have people, even in the dating world now, their preference is to date somebody without children, right?
And that's still very hard
Yeah.
because almost everybody has one.
Exactly. That's
At least one.
yeah. So I feel like relationships happen, during that period. You devoted, things happen, there's a baby involved, you meet somebody else, y'all grow, y'all probably date for how many years, and then other children are involved, and then you are now left with the burden of from the two past relationships with 2 children or maybe 3 children, and then you still want to be a part of the dating world, and
Yeah.
people, it's difficult for you now because people looking at you like, wow, you have 3 babies, 2 child father.
Yeah, but they
So-
don't know your stories.
like,
Screw them.
So that's why I said like there's such a heavy stigma when it comes to that. Now I am from a blended family where my mom remarried when I was young, and my stepfather, I grew up saying that I have 2 fathers because my biological father, though he may not have supported me financially, but I was a daddy's girl and I enjoyed going and spend time by my father, because sometimes I felt as if it was just me and my mother for a while.
Right.
And then she remarried, and I felt like the attention that I was receiving at the time, I was not getting that, and I would get it when I go by my dad, and
Yeah.
experience that. And I just never had a problem with the idea of blended families because of, I guess, how I was brought up.
Yeah.
My mother remarried. She was married to my dad. They had me, and I was a planned baby. I cock it. And then, they divorced. She remarried, and my mom made 2 children.
Right.
You understand? So I grew up in that. I mean, when I used to go by my dad had girlfriends, and I would love the fact that I had another mommy. I have 2 mommies, 2 daddies, and that's just what I grew up. So it looked candid to me, and now that I'm a mom myself, and my son's dad and I are not together, I don't look at it as so taboo that, my son dad can date people and he can bring. I would be so appreciative if Kyrie got a second mommy who would love him just as much as I would love him. That means 2 birthday cakes.
2 birthday parties.
2 birthday parties, because you're getting love from somebody who treats you as an equal. You understand? That is a beautiful
There's a
thing.
factor you're forgetting, okay?
What's that?
So we mentioned it on one of the episodes before, where back in the day, sometimes if let's just say it's a slightly different dynamic, but if the husband have an outside child, which mostly what happened, the outside woman and the wife would make sure that child is taken care of. And the maturity of understanding that in this situation, all right, so I meet Femi has a kid, Jason is the father of the kid. They have the stuff going on. Maybe I have an outside child and raise the mother. It shouldn't matter what our dynamic as mother and father and stepmother and stepfather is, as long as the child's best interests are at heart.
Thank you.
Agreed.
We should remove our emotion
I can agree with that.
in taking care. And there's a lot of things where, the guilt breaker for me because I want her, but she have my youth. But now she checking on another fella. The another fella is a better man.
So you take care of the child.
So you understand, guys, I want nothing to do with that. Or he causing problems in the relationship, or vice versa. The girl break up, or the man leave her. He have a new woman. Oh, don't want my child. That woman touching my child. Whatever. Sometimes the woman is a good option as a step in for you when you are not there, and vice versa. And that's the dynamic that we're missing today. We're putting so much emotion into relationships, and the children are the ones
That's a suffering.
Boy, you so brilliant.
child support and custody battles, and we're not understanding that we are raising we're raising a generation of children who are going to be trauma driven.
Of course.
And that's the thing. That's what I was telling you. Forgetting with
Yeah,
that's
there's so many dynamics.
The dynamic we're missing.
No, she said something else about stigma attached with when you have a child. I think it's age dependent, because at a certain point, if you're 16 and you have a child, that's a thing by itself. But if you're 25 and you have a child, it's more acceptable. If you're 40 and you don't have a child, then I have to look at you funny and wonder if you're just busting blanks all the time, or what you're doing if you're alive.
What? Why would you take that?
True.
As a man, I watch
Suppose their priorities were different. Why it had to be the negative?
Just
Suppose their
infertile
priorities were different. Suppose it had nothing to do with infertility and it was just their priorities.
So let me give you my point of view. If I see you 45, you're looking nice, and you don't have no children, I have to think, why are you still on the shelf? I have to look for what's
Something
going
wrong.
on.
I think it also
Cough.
in that aspect, Jason, the one thing you'd have to see, the other thing you'd have to look at is their mentality. There's some women who complete a field, but they just don't want to get stuck in that mentality of having 3 baby daddies or 2 baby daddies and 3 children. They sometimes rather end up being a spinster and not have any kids, but have enjoyed their life, and they don't have no baggage behind them with no deadbeats, according to how women talk about some men. There's that aspect we can think of. Because I know guys that are what they call the cool uncles that have no kids. You understand? They're like, hey, I ain't
They
dropping
choose-
nothing
they choose
because
a life.
I don't want to be in no relationship, and I don't want no baggage with nothing. So I don't know kids.
True.
And they end up being the cool uncles. Everybody's uncle this and uncle that when they get older, because that is the uncle that free. You know?
Let's talk about wicked step parents.
Yeah.
I want to talk about
Like Cinderella.
how you want to meet a man with his child or children and think it is okay to make that child miserable in their household. And why are we parents allowing?
Sometimes they don't even know.
It's
happening right under their nose, and they don't even
We
know.
have to listen to
And the
our
sad
kids.
part about it is they play in one side to their partner, and in the same breath, once their partner is not there, they're treating their kids like shit. And I tell people, like, I feel like if you love somebody, you must, and they have children, you must love their children too. You cannot love the man or the person without loving their children.
What if
All
the
in the
child
same
is
breath.
like a brat?
If the child's a brat, that's a different story. I will tell you your child is a brat, and I good on that. I'm not going to put myself out there to try and form a relationship with a child that has no interest in forming a relationship with me, or has been brainwashed by their parent, their other parent. Because I'm pretty sure that's why I said, depending on the co-parenting relationship will determine certain aspects moving forward in that regard. But
Gosh, I was like,
yeah.
All right, Ashton, let's say
Yeah. So good point so far, Femi. But and I agree with you that sometimes parents may not necessarily know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't care either. And there are certain situations like that. There are situations that I know of that way back in the day, parents didn't care. They were like, oh, well, you know, the child maybe say, mom, dad, whatever, so and so situation happening. You lie. You sure? Really? No, not this person. That would never happen. That person is too good to me to do that or affect you in that way.
Yeah.
And in some cases too, I find like there's another point. People come into households, whatever situation may be, and they want to take charge and change traditions and change the whole family dynamic just to prove that, they're here and they're in charge. So all that could lead to various levels of uncomfortability in the household and lead to further levels of drama. I see Jason's brain cooking there.
That's my story here for 2 years. Where if we style?
Many stories you have, so please share. Please enlighten us.
Ashton, one of the things that you said is so right is that sometimes the parents just don't care because you might have, and it typically goes that way. You might have a woman who may be okay in life, but she has 3 children, so she's struggling. And she meets this man who's well off. And sometimes he might just be a predator or a heel, right? And you just figure you can have this woman here, take care of her and the children, but you can get his free thing on her, And you'll be the best stepfather when she around and slows it down, like, I don't really want you, always your mother I want kind of thing, So, and you get that with women too, is like, they might have animosity towards your mother, and she's with your father now, and you have kids, and she's like, oh, I was supposed to be with him. How you end up with him? So as far as they can say, they can't do with the mother anything, so they'll take the children. I mean, we can sit down there and come up with many dynamics of why.
There's multiple dynamics.
I've seen a couple in my time, like oh boy, that one about the poisoning parents. Now I like to recuse myself from this whole situation because I have a child mother and we have ups and downs like any relationships. And I see all the phases when you're younger. And then after a time you recognize, is it really worth it? Because that was a person you made the child with. But just like you say, sometimes a person can be like, I was supposed to be in that place. And then they have some children. Most children in their mind, they want to see mommy and daddy together. The person could be perfect, but they just want to see mommy and daddy together. It comes from a place of maturity for you to maneuver and navigate through that dynamic.
So let me just share something on the subject matter in general and the way that we frame it. And we talk about the wicked parents and we talk about those things. In terms of the adults involved, the parents, whether or not it's the biological or the step, right? We have to understand that there are a few things that we take for granted. So, for example, we might have our children. We might see that we're taking care of them as the rightful parents, you understand? And we have that protector spirit over our child, right? And that protector spirit is inhibiting a step parent from being a good parent, right? So, for example, you might be a mom guarded by your child, you understand? And you think that what you're doing is good, is doing the best for him. And then you prohibiting the potential good stepfather from being a very good stepfather because in your mind, he doesn't have the right or the know-how to handle your son or your daughter, right? So those are some of the dynamics that we face. So with that being said, as adults involved in relationships and having children, what would be some of your do's and don'ts as it pertains to your partner in relation to your child?
I feel like with that question, that's a wonderful question. You see the word communication, and I will keep stressing on communication because it is so pivotal. We have people with different emotions all the time and no emotional intelligence. No one who is able to logically say, this is the situation as is, and so this is how I would like to move with it moving forward. Instead, we just combat with each other instead of rather creating healthy boundaries and communicating as to how we're going to move about, being that there is a child or children involved or included. Now, you said something about the do's and the don'ts. I think it determines, that is determined based on the dynamic or the dynamics of the biological parents and the introduction of the step parents. Because if this is my first child, automatically I'm already protective, right? So I may feel some type of way knowing that for my first child, it's supposed to be me and you are introducing another party into this child's life. So maybe mentally I would have already set a path or way I would want my child to go, and I'm not open-minded to the possibilities of other ways that things can happen. And so I start to make, I become an outside noise, and I start to make issues with the step parent and the other biological parent pertaining the child, because I'm not accepting that there's other ways in which the child can be raised, other dynamics in which the child can learn within two separate households.
Okay, I'd like to answer that question directly, and I want to hear Carol and Kurt's opinion on that. For me, one of the biggest do's and don'ts in one is if you see there's something I'm not noticing with my child, come to me first, and then let me go. Or we can talk about it together and then go to the child. I had instances for sure where I seen that play out, where it's not that I think my child is the best, but the child doesn't know you like that, and it would look away if you're the first point of contact instead of me being the parent. The mother might have an issue with that, as in my child's mother. I might have an issue with how you figure the child needs to be disciplined, because you don't know the child like that, the child don't know you like that, and it could be a real issue, but you have to come to me first as the primary provider for the child, and then maybe we can deal with it together. That's my do and don't.
What if you're leaving the child with the step parent all the time, right?
Same thing. You come to me, you see the child doing
So
something.
you're not go with your child?
So if you're married now,
Give a child.
if you're not married,
Yeah, I think you're missing the point.
No, but you
No,
have to
I understand where
communicate
you're
with
coming
me.
from, but I understand what point
Let me-
she's trying to
if
bring.
you're not married, is it the
we
same?
married, yeah.
Is it the same?
No, well, by the time you're married, you should iron out most of these
Okay.
things and
All right,
move
so-
it forward.
And not
So-
just
so
that,
we
the
don't-
child would know you. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
by then the child would
exactly,
know
the
you
child
better.
would understand and have a
But you just
relationship
starting
with
to
you.
interact with the child, you're trying to lay some wrong rules down, you all just want to live together.
Well, then in that case, I'm not disciplining your child at all. I will
But
tell
you
you
need to
what happened
communicate.
and let you deal with
Now,
said
you know, some
issue.
people so indiscreet, they will take it as if, just like you said earlier, or not the Ashton said earlier, where the person will just come with their own thing and say, well, this is how we're going to be doing things from now. And it doesn't look like that. The child already in the comfort zone.
Exactly.
You're introducing that person into your space with your child.
You're merging.
So there's a transition period where you have to be the adults and deal with the child together as
Agreed.
one. So you cannot go to the child directly and the child have to come back to me. So it's best we have a unified front. And the
Yeah.
easiest way to do it, you come to me first. As any good couple should, if we have an issue, you should come to me first. Don't go to your
Facts.
friend, don't go to your mother, don't go to your child, don't go to your father. Come to me first and then we can deal with it together.
Okay.
So I
Go ahead.
yeah. So I have a very simple way, and this is just my rule for kids in general. I feel children should be children, but I have one rule: I don't like a rude child. And if I ever meet someone, I've met people who have kids, and the minute they tell me that, this is one of the things I say to them: I say, I hate rude children. So if your child is rude, don't bring a child around me.
Well, you know, some people will get vexed if you block you at some
That's
point.
fine.
That's great.
Don't
Even
bring your
better,
child around me
I
because
would less likely
I
have
operate
that
in such a way that if I have my home and my friends come with their kids, from the moment you reach in that house, I am your father because this is my house.
Yes.
You understand me? This is my house. I don't care
With
what
your
you do at your home. I don't care what you do at your home. This is my home and my rules. And 95% of all my friends who have kids love me because I let you be a kid. So you can run, you can do this, you cannot, don't touch this, don't go there. I finish with you. Run, jump, scream, make noise, you're a child because at the end of the day, you must burn out, of course. All right? But if I tell you stop or don't feel you're going to give me rudeness. I'm not going to hit your child, but I'm going to look at you and say, hey,
Go with your child.
one warning. If you see you don't speak to your child, I say, take your child and go. I had a situation years ago, good friend of mine. we had this problem where the wife was unfortunately abused when she was younger, so she didn't believe in beating the kids at all, no discipline. So those 3 boys were feral. You understand me? I think I said this in one of the podcasts. One day they came over and we're sitting down talking and they're making noise. And I see he's nervous. So I'm like, let them run around, all right? Because my son there, whatever. Then I hear things start crashing. So I get up and I look inside and the living room looked like a fucking tornado passed through it. So I go back and I sit down and say, hey, go and check on the boys. Here you go, you come back. Go and check on the boys, come back. When my son's mother realized that, yeah, I'm about to, I see she watched the mother, and I watching my boy, I'm like, yo, if I don't care what she say, if you see you don't go inside and take care of them children, her and I will have a problem. Eventually, he had to get up, tell the boys, let's go, and left. My son had 2 pet rabbits. The fellas killed one of the pet rabbits. And the fellas mash up some ornaments and stuff they had there, tear up cushions and everything like that. Fast forward, I told him about it afterwards. I spoke to the mother. I'm like, listen, that's your business. But if you come back there with them again, I'm going to pepper their backside if they come in with that same attitude. So I let you know now because they're rude, they're feral. Anyway, fast forward, I went to their house one day and the 3 of them are there. The middle one turned out to be a pyromaniac. He almost burned down the house. The older one was just rude. No, I tell you serious, the older one was just rude. The younger one, that was my partner. That was my partner. Anyway, he had to go do something. And my partner nervous to leave me with the kids because he know how they are. I tell him, guys, go. I said, go ahead. Fine. So the older one, I check him. I say, yo, take your younger brother, go. I'm looking for the middle one everywhere. I can't find mate everywhere. Because I go behind the house, but I have a matchbox trying to light something. My father don't even reach down the driveway yet. I tell him, boy, pass your ass inside, boy. And he watch me. He gone inside and I said, sit down there. I said, put on something. The little one come and pull out on me. I talking to him, I talking to all them. Now I start chilling. The same pyromaniac come and lie down by me. And I reason with them. When they reach inside the house, they're like,
Shocked.
like, what you do? I say nothing. They call out there, hi daddy, whatever, nothing. Say, cool. I said, now we're watching something. Do what you doing? Me watching me like, boy, if I drug the children. And it's like, you just have to be, especially kids respond to male voices a lot better than female voices, especially for discipline.
What was the enabling factor in them children?
The mother.
Yeah, but
The mother.
boy.
She rather spoil the child, spare the rod.
Oh yeah, you did say that in the
Right.
statement.
So
All right,
that's the
let's
thing.
say what could that do.
All right, so my rule is not far off from how you'll operate. My only thing is if we are in the dating phase or we seeing each other, we're not living together, that kind of thing, right? I will try my best to communicate in that time to see how you operate around your kids, right? And give you the same opportunity to see how I operate mine. So you have a general idea as to what my parenting style is like, and I have a general idea as to what your parenting style is like. I do not necessarily agree with the idea that everything that has to come in terms of the way of discipline, that I need to come to you first
Exactly.
to iron it out. I need to be able to understand you as my partner as to what your psyche and what your limitation is in the form of discipline, so that I could supplement it, and vice versa. So in that scenario, how I would approach managing any stepchild, or how I would want my partner to manage my son, would be that we are single voice. There is no splinter, nothing in between. You understand? And know that if I do discipline, you don't stop me. If you have an issue with it after the fact, then so it's different. So mine is slightly different. I will allow you to discipline because you need to see some variance of that person's character come out in true sense. Because you don't want to change an adult to conform that adult to your child. Your child need to understand the person that you have around them, and if that person have love for you, they ought to have love for your child. So you need not to worry as to whether or not that person is supposed to have your best interest. Now, If you are somebody who is toxic as an individual, the parent, that changes everything.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'll give you another simple rule. I will discipline boys. I will never lay my hand on a girl.
But myself, I used to bust my ass.
I will never lay my hand on a girl, and I'll tell you, there's reason for that. There is
I listen to you.
there's reasoning for that. I personally believe that, especially as I'm not the biological, me laying my hand on that girl is like laying your hands on the mother.
Okay.
So that's just my thing on it.
So
So
it's your daughter you
it
discipline.
was my daughter. She getting licks. Yeah.
Boy.
But I will pass. But I'll pass that role, because at the end of the day, dealing with boys is one thing. Dealing with girls, we also have to compartmentalize those things as well. It's not the same formula. It's not the same prescription.
Up to a certain age it is.
Yeah, but where I'm coming from is like, okay, let's say you meet somebody and you in a child, like when a child is 2 and coming up. That's a different thing. You could probably take that chance. That's probably your scenario. You raised you from young. But I'm not going to look at a 12-year-old preteen young lady coming into my life at that point in time and feel to myself that I could be a big boss and beat you. I will not do that.
No, I will leave that up to the mother to
You're
get
right.
permission to do
But
it.
no, I'm not asking permission. You do it.
No.
No.
Sometimes the mother can.
No, I'm telling you.
Sometimes the mother, you could go to the mother with an issue and say, hey, Stacy did X, Y, and Z, whatever. This is the 4th time, whatever. When the mother say, you know what happened? Give her a time.
Nah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I believe that there are certain things that as male and female that we ought to do. And especially when you enter somebody's life at a certain point, that person going through the puberty stage, they have their things. You already know what kind of roller coaster life an adolescent child could going through. You ought not to compound that for yourself and to safeguard yourself from that child as well.
So if it's a boy and you just say,
Make getting licks, my bro. Make getting licks.
Double standard.
It's not a double standard.
it is. I said,
Make getting licks.
You can.
No, I kind of understand where you're coming from though, because girls are different. And as you rightfully said, the same formula does not work on the opposite sex. So as I said, I understand your thought process and where you're coming from. And honestly, boys are different. They would test your patience. They would size up on you and all them kind of
I
things.
feel
Man to
girls who
man.
test your patience more than boys to boy.
You test your patience in the same way the boy testing your patience. You can't-
More.
Yeah, but beating a teenage child don't help.
To this.
Say what now?
I really like you.
What you say, Simon?
When
As
a
a
parent
parent.
come into this, for example, they're not comfortable with you disciplining their child, or just
Go
being
with
that
your
discipline.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you saying that?
I will just agree
No,
to the point.
so you're saying, Simone, you're saying that if Kurt is a stepfather and the mother is okay with him disciplining the son, but the father is not okay with him disciplining the son.
Yes.
Well, take your child.
That was a question.
That was a question.
That was a question.
Hold on. Let me answer that question for you.
Please, I did beg.
Right?
I did beg.
You beating him with the father?
No. If the child is under my care, under my charge, in my house, is my rules. Right? I will not hide from the father if I have to discipline his son. I'm not a scaredy cat. I'm not beating your child because I want to be wicked. And that's a last resort. Right? So if I have to discipline anybody under my charge, the mere fact that you're under my domain, it changes that dynamic. Right? And I also believe that, because think about it properly. A child will have different domains and will have different rules in the domains that they're in. So when my son, for example, is at my home, he operates in a particular way. The moment he goes by his mother, he operates differently, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel that he's because what the environment provides in terms of the way of operation is how he's going to go about. That's how it is.
Allow it to happen naturally. You have created a space where your son, what happens at your home happens at your home. When he goes to his mother's house, you don't try to control what happens in the
Right.
mother's domain. But that's not the case that happens majority
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah, but now what I'm trying to emphasize is that I need to trust. Not forget the child, but let's not include the child. And let's trust the adults who are responsible for the child. If my son is in your domain, as much as my domain might be ruled differently than yours, they need to have some kind of symbiotic kind of relation in terms of how we operate. You understand? So something it might have its variance. For example, my bedtime might be 8 o'clock, your bedtime might be 10. You understand? So he can't wait to go by you because you know when you go by you could go and sleep 2 hours later. You understand? So they have to have some kind of similarity, some kind of relationship, something that is almost like common thread. You understand? And that's where we as adults need to communicate. That's how I see it. Right?
For sure, communication plays a
Yeah.
big role.
Because I think part of the problem that we have is that, and that's just my thing, is we trying to be who is the better parent or competing even in parenting to see if I'm a better father than you are a better mother, that kind of thing. Those things happen in terms of those households.
Yes.
So now it's no longer about each other, it's about you competing with the person.
And also there are instances where the step parent is competing with the child for the affection of the other parent. Like it just makes no sense.
I also think that it is important to have healthy boundaries with the biological parents so that they know from the onset what is at play. So that when you bring in somebody into your life because you and that person are no longer together, it makes it easier. And I will give an example shortly, but we have a question in the audience. Let me just hear from the question and then we will take it from there.
Let's hear from Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I thought you were nuts. Wonderful. Very interesting. And even before I go there, I would like to share with us men, if we dating or we interested in a woman, to me, a woman have a child which is a year, 2 years, 3 years. Just try not to go there. As much as he may look attractive, but sometimes there's a lot of things still going in her head. She's not really, she has still have grudges about the man she was with. So just try to avoid it. Almost like a red flag to us, to me, sorry, but just try to avoid it. Let me just go there with just what you just, we were talking about the child, about disciplining the child. Could give his 2 cents on that. This is a very, very ticklish conversation. And whilst we at it, I think under the person's watch when the child do whatever he or she does, I think the parent around is supposed to be discipline that child. But there's different form of discipline. When we talk about discipline, some of us may think if you talk about discipline, you'll say, I'll give it to him, he's beaten. If he said that, so there's taking away from, there's things you could just take away from them, because before I used to get a lot of beating, and I don't intend to go down the road to do the same thing with my children. I don't think so. Because sometimes you get them as hard as concrete, and it's more difficult. What I don't like is when sometime a particular child go to the other parent's house, there's this back and forth, like using the child like a passport. Oh, tell your mother I see this, and oh, tell your father I say, tell your woman not to touch my child's head or to comb that. Excuse you. I think the father needs to have a conversation with that individual. Why? Because you need to set boundaries. Okay? I am not a female. I can't comb her hair when she comes to my home. You should be pleased that my woman don't have an issue to do it. Do not use the child like a passport back and forth. Let the child be a child and not to just try and complicate the child. Okay? And I find these things happen so often is because whilst we in the situation where we're raising a child, put ourselves on the side when it comes to this. Focus on the child. Why is like, oh, I tell a woman, because sometimes there's so much vexation, anger in that. I'm talking about a woman because it's men and women. You find that when you go to the father's house, and Kurt said something that is so good, so true. Because for instance, my son, he's 20 already, but when he was younger, when you find he go come and spend time by me, you'll hear the mother say, when you're by your father, you're not doing that. So you swear he's beating him? No. It's just like, for instance, you have a dog in particular. Your wife or your girlfriend is the one always feeding the dog. And then a few hours you haven't fed the dog and you come and the dog is so loyal. And the dog, behave. The dog will not behave because it feels so it feels so happy and gay that you come to feed it. But if I look at the dog and I just, it's already like, it's already like, that's the way. Sometimes you don't have to use force on the children, It's because there's a way of speaking. You see the language of just, because my children, my son will not ask me money in my present, but when he goes home at his mother, he called me on the phone, Daddy, and he was there with me. You swear that he's afraid of me? And I say, but son, you were there. But Daddy, it's like the mother would tell him the same thing. So, but you could ask, you swear we'd have a good friendship? Is because he don't want to feel like he want to ask me. No, son, no, go ahead. So you find this thing. So this conversation we have here, I hope we just take it further and share it with our, friends, our neighbors, because this is a very good and very healthy, subject all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think I'm always thinking but you see that emotional roller coaster parents go through when they separate and they are not able to deal with it from a logical perspective. I really do think that it influences or destroys the relationship moving forward for co-parenting and for future relationships that has to be built amongst families or step parents. I want to give an example. I have a friend of mine. She's relatively young and she's dating someone who has a young child. And she has grown an attachment, a bond with that child. So it's almost as if the child is hers.
Mm-hmm.
And she's experiencing so much outside noise that's affecting her relationship with the father because of the child's biological mother. Right? And when we have conversations, I have to say to the father, you have to remember that you are in that situation, you are the common denominator, because you have to set healthy boundaries and let the mother know that your child, when he comes to your home, is not ill-treated, he's not in danger, he's not in any harm's way, but receiving love from somebody who loves me. Therefore, you don't have control over what happens in my household because our son is not at risk. And we do not set healthy boundaries. I keep saying that throughout this entire episode, the importance of communication and healthy boundaries. Because you cannot tell me that the child have a bond so much with the step parent that your issue is the girl posting your child. That's the issue to me. You have to go through.
It's just jealousy,
But exactly.
But that's exactly what it chalks up to.
Sometimes the child like the stepmother more than the mother.
But
you understand?
Well,
And
because the
that's-
step parent has the ability to be their friend and be a parent.
I disagree
Whereas
with
the
that.
parent is just their parent.
Any of you ever went through a blended family situation where you had somebody who had a child already? Anything like
No, I grew up in one, but no.
Not personally.
Yeah. I grew up in one, but I didn't date anyone like that.
Yeah, I'm blended. My household is a blended household.
What do you mean?
Yeah, my household. No, my household is a blended household. My son is the youngest in my household, right? And my son literally has two mothers, and the relationship that they have, the only thing is she just didn't give birth to him. That's it.
But you have created the healthy boundaries to allow the flow.
Well,
of those
I feel what it is, and again, it's all parties involved. You understand? I think if there is a relationship that ended and there is bitterness, it will be difficult to manage the scenario if there is bitterness. And bitterness is not because of both parties. Bitterness could be because just one person wants to be bitter.
Yeah.
Right? And if you do not have the bitterness, you understand, and the person is, or the biological parent is willing to allow the child to be cared for by somebody else other than them. Beautiful.
That's wonderful.
Right? But sometimes we as the adults, and it always redounds to us as the adults as to how we import what we input in our kids and what they and how they respond with what we input in them. So for example, if you're in a scenario where at my home your mother is good, meaning your biological mother is good. I talking about your mother, even if we're not together, I talk about her positively. But when you go by her, that old father of yours, that old thing, it changes everything. You understand? So we have to look at it from that perspective. But for me personally, I think my son has the best. I think my son has the best.
Let me ask the audience and everybody their opinion. I saw a podcast with there's a particular basketball player who was in the NBA and now he's dropped to the league below the NBA, and he was talking to Shannon Sharp.
The WNBA?
Really good. The G.
Right. And he made a comment pertaining to that, and he was saying that he said women do not know how to keep the hero alive.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All right? Which basically means that normally when you have the logical scenarios happening, fathers can not ill talk the mothers in front of the kids, even if they have animosity with each other or whatever it is. But they find that mothers are more of the ones who would bash the father or the girlfriend or cause the situations. Do you all think that's true? Like, what is your opinion on that?
I think it's the individual.
Yes, it's definitely more the women who do that. I would say.
I think it's the individual.
It is more the women that would do that, but there are men that do it too. So there is that.
All right, well, Michael Beasley.
I think so, yeah.
Michael Beasley.
So any contribution from the audience?
Okay. I think it will solely depend on the individual, because if the biological parent is just a miserable, bitter individual, it could be male or female, they will bash the parents in front of the child regardless. So, but I have a question though. How do step parents interact with a child after the biological parent causes conflict between the partner and the child?
So, I'm very happy that you asked that, because one of the questions I wanted to pose to the audience was, what happens when the step parent is now frustrated with the outside noise of the other biological parent? And most importantly, if the father is trying to, let's say, ease the noise by just saying, okay, well, babe, she don't want you to do that with the child, so just don't do that for the child. When that's your household. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you are not taking into account the frustration that step parent don't even have to deal with. They don't have to deal with that. But because of the love and maybe the bond or connection they would have built between the father or mother and child, they find it a little difficult to let go of the situation. But it is the biological parent in that situation to create a safe haven, at least under their roof.
I'm sorry, Kate. You cannot answer a question with a question. She asks, how do you, as a parent...
So you didn't let me answer the question?
But you throw a next question and you go...
No, I said the same question.
Right.
But you go ahead, what are you saying?
I waited for the answer. So it's for you to create a safe haven, you say?
So you know I answered the question, because if you say that, then that means you quite aware that I answered the question, right?
Okay.
So it's for the biological parent to create a safe haven, at least underneath their roof, especially if they have no control over what the other parent is doing.
Okay, so I come in, I'm the bitter father. I throw something in your plate and it definitely disrupt your family, how would you recover if your partner from that and the child will trust you? Like, let's say I say, that fella used to be my friend, and now look at your mother there with the fella. And I tell the child that, how would you recover from that?
I would have a conversation with my child. I would have a conversation with my child, and I would also have a conversation with my current partner.
Would you have
And
a
I would
conversation with the
allow-
other parent?
At some point, yes, I would. But if it is a case where it's so toxic that it doesn't even make sense to communicate with the other parent, what matters is me, my partner, and my child safety within our walls. I may not be able to control, especially if the other biological parent has access to the child, what happens on the other side. But once that child is under my roof, especially if it's that the child is in my primary care, the child is in my primary care, living with me and my husband or my boyfriend. And my boyfriend is taking care of that child, and his father wants to be a bitter man. No, I'm not going to encourage that. I'm not going to tolerate that. Because the child is my priority, and his safety is also my priority. So what my focus is to ensure that he's receiving love from the person that I bring into his life. That's how I think that situation should be dealt with.
You're saying that if the outside parent, for example, is saying, I don't want you to comb my child's hair. So when my child is at your home, don't touch my child's hair, right? But you just being a genuine individual will not stay and see the child's hair in a mess and not comb the child's hair. So what do you do?
3-4 weeks.
Right. So what do you do in that situation? Do you not comb the child's hair because you don't want any more issues? Or do you comb the child's hair and get yourself in some issues?
Are you okay if I comb the child because I noticed that the child's hair is a mess for the child has been my house for 3 weeks? So do you think I should
As
comb
the
the
biological parent, I will tell you comb the child.
and if
I
you
will
tell
find
me
the
comb-
battle with the mother. You comb the child hair.
Exactly.
But although I can comb hair, but I will still make you comb the hair.
Now you see that ties,
Go comb hair. So
that ties to my first point.
I'm looking at it at in both perspectives, because now you as a biological parent, you're saying comb the child's hair, and then the other parents will feel like you're being disrespectful to them because you're not respecting their boundaries.
It's in my house.
but it's a bogus
Okay.
boundary. Like seriously, something as
You
your
can't really
child's hair.
justify, like, what would
Like
be
what's the justification for that?
The child is in my
Yes,
care
like-
at my house at
If
the
you
point
don't
in
want me
time.
to do your child hair,
I
make
am the
sure the
superior
hair done
parent,
before
not
it
you.
reach by me.
Comb the child hair.
Like
When the child by you, she can not comb the hair.
Boy, it's not super.
Now, Jason, you were saying something.
On another side, though, once the child or the children are old enough, I think it's also important that the biological parents have a conversation with the children or the child. For example, if the child say, "Daddy, I don't like your new girlfriend now," like, what will you say in that instance?
Have a conversation with the child to find out why.
She's abusive, or
Just find out why. Sometimes it's what the actual parent on the other side is telling the child that's giving the child a particular emotion too.
what if it's not that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I talk to the child. Jason, you were saying something.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Slap.
Slap. I hope this whole
Comb your child.
But that ties back to my first point. That's why I think the first bridge of communication should be from the biological parent inside the relationship. So I would know how my child mother feel about combing the child hair, but I would also know how available is she to comb my child hair. So if I see she playing the fool, I say in a month, 2 weeks, and I have a girlfriend there who can comb my hair, she will comb my hair. And I also like a good-looking woman who can just beat down her next woman. So she wouldn't go and step up on that woman I didn't with. Whether I tell or not.
The smart way I would play that is the smart way. You don't want my present girlfriend to comb your kids' hair. All right. So if every time I call you, you are available to comb the child's hair, and you make yourself available, not put me out of my way to bring the kid to comb, I'll be fine with that. But if every time I call it's a problem, I have to waste my gas, I have to waste my time, I can't get you tomorrow, this and that and the other, I will put the situation in the fact that you cannot say that because you are not accommodating what you don't want to be done by her.
Yeah, and it's for the parent to deal with that battle.
Exactly, I'll fight that battle.
Worst case is, well, you'll pay for the hairdresser. But if you don't want to pay for the hairdresser, you just being petty. Now, I had a little dabble in the co-parent thing and the blended relationship. And I would say the person I was in a blended relationship with, she was absolutely lovely when it comes to disciplining her child. So when I used to see how she used to deliver her child, I say, I could just leave my child if I don't have to worry about what she doing, where she going. But that only comes with the trust. But for the first stage is good. I think at least, like you say, somewhere between what you said and what I said, you have to talk about it, play it out in each other's head, then see how it works in practicality. It's not about going to Disneyland and all the cupcakes and thing. See how the person dealing with their children already, like you said, and then can you deal with that? Because you have to check what's your vision for your child and how they deal with their child and also the execution.
All right. So yeah, I mean I get what you're saying. I don't disagree. I feel, again, just to reiterate, it was more about when the child now is part of my domain. When we as the couple move from that dating phase where we no longer just casually meeting or you escaping from your home, maybe you have a babysitter and you're coming over by my place. But now we sharing the household. That's where I'm coming from. When you start sharing the household, I do not believe it's fair to ask me to now everything that I have to do when it comes to your particular biological that I have to consult with. You understand? Because I will not put that limitation on you. You understand? I supposed to know by the time that you living in my household, I supposed to be comfortable with the idea of you being around my child 24/7.
Yeah, at that point you should be comfortable.
Yeah.
Not just with the child, with finances, with decisions.
Yeah. So I supposed to be comfortable knowing that I have an capable partner, right? And that takes me to the next part of our topic, where we talk about what and who comes first. And I know we kind of skate around the idea of it, but I'll give a scenario to help the discussion. So I was watching this YouTube video where a woman was on a rant talking about she don't want her partner, her husband, to discipline her biological son, his stepson. The child is 20 years old, right? The child is being pampered by the mother, more or less, similar to what you were saying earlier. And she had big issues with the fact that her husband wants to discipline and she doesn't believe in that concept of he being able to discipline the child. And her first priority is her son.
She would be a single mother. You're laughing.
No, but it's how you say it, like.
Your mother.
But could say how much things are wrong there already. When I ain't child, because I never know big 20-year-old had Batman as well.
And I ain't no child of what you doing in my house, yo?
But the issue is that 20-year-old had back living under their roof.
That's what the
Wait, what?
So let me get
The 20-year-old what?
living under their roof.
Let me get through it.
Make it
So
even worse.
the idea is that she would not put out her son, she would put out her husband first. Right?
I would put out myself.
She have
She
a
would-
problem.
She would not put out her son, she would put out her husband first. So it begs the question, when you're in marriage, let's even before marriage, even in a common law state, who comes first?
No. Before we go forward,
Biological parents.
you know who I blame in that scenario? The man. You know why? Because the child is 20, you married, you're at the point where y'all was dating, y'all was serious, you proposed. That's not the first time that came up. You still marry her. All right? I blame the guy because you know what? You should not have put yourself in that situation in the first place. If you know you're a man that's going to be disciplined and she does not want you to discipline her son because she wants to pamper the man, etc., go along your way with your child.
Yeah.
I'll find somebody else that would what's the word you said a while ago?
Pamper baby.
But that's why I'm asking, is that
On the same
situation
Yeah, same bitch, right?
is that situation with the biological parents or parents?
No.
Biological mother, stepfather.
Stepmother, like mother and stepfather. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say go on your business. You might go.
No, go on your business.
And like Carol said, that's just a pattern. You wouldn't that wouldn't be the first time that
Exactly.
But also in my own house, you trying to tell me a big hardback 20-something-year-old person coming and tell me how school keeping and you ain't paying no bills in my house?
at that point you're just a visitor for the
Thank
weekend,
you.
man.
If you put in your child first over me, go about your business.
That's
Because
not a
that's a child.
I would Tom and Jerry myself out of the house. Excuse me. Let me put myself out. I hold myself like that.
But I still need you to answer
So,
the question.
all right, I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question. That's
We did.
that is so tricky. So if I am the parent and the scenario, it is individual. That's what I'll answer you. It's individual because I have a friend of mine who's in a blended family, and the mother is a mother to all the kids. He is a father to all the kids. But his daughter, who was the oldest, her britches get big and she start to fluff her feathers because the mother is trying to discipline her into being a woman. Do this, make sure you know how to do that, whatever. And she wants to just laze around and whatever and start causing problems. And you tell her, get the fuck out of the house. Because you know what he said? He said, you are not disrupting my happiness. I don't know if I'm going to get a woman like that anymore. You have a woman that's there for you as a mother. You in my house, you have to understand the discipline. When she couldn't there, tell her go by her grandmother.
And I would go one further because when you go and find your boyfriend by myself, you have to, stay with my woman there.
Who I chauffeur next to?
I tell you.
A pillow?
But I would 100%
You told her go.
Individual.
It depends on the individual because sometimes if the man or woman with stepmother or father is okay, but you love your kid and your kid is a decent kid, you have to choose. My kid is there with me for the rest of my life. I don't know if this person will get better or worse. Sometimes you have to let them go and just be with the kid and find somebody else.
But it all depends on the age of said child.
That's why I said that's an individual
And the
thing.
dynamic.
Case by case.
Case by
I don't think
case
there's any
basis.
set.
I do not believe that, and I don't think that you don't like my and I want to tell you something. My personal belief is that you always prioritize your life partner. Because everything else is supposed to pour out from that.
So life partner, that's a specific situation.
I said, no. This is what I think about it. When you get married, it's not supposed to be for the next 6 months.
Okay.
So you need to prioritize your life partner. You don't have objections to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
my life partner is shitty?
Well, you don't
Does
use
I
a
know
shitty
your
life
life
partner.
partner?
Is
So that who said you picked up
Because I've seen
My
people
choice of it.
start off really good, get married, and then something down the line, maybe they lose their job, they lose their this, they lose their that, and they turn into a toxic depression black hole, and it festers into the family. Sometimes you better grab your patchy and your children and go because you can't stay next to that because you might have tried everything you possibly can to fix it.
No,
You
but,
can't fix it.
but,
Go.
but that's that's worst
No, but
case
we're talking
scenario,
about
though.
scenarios. But so
And no, but I get what Kurt's saying. I don't think he's saying to take shittiness when shittiness being given to you right through all the time. But what he's saying is that you must put in the work with your partner. You can't forget your partner for the sake of your children.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your children going to get up and leave and form their own house. They're not staying with you forever. So
Thank you for the smooth, my good man.
you gotta check on your vibe.
Yeah, and I would
So
say
that's
if-
why I say I understand what you meant. Am I mistaken in what you? Okay, great.
We have a question.
If you and your partner in alignment, then it shouldn't be a difficult choice or a rock and a hard place. You're supposed to move forward and be as one with that person. You shouldn't have to think, oh, my child or my partner. It should just flow, like good said.
I think it's even.
Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be a choice.
Let me
if
ever
it's
know.
fluid.
Question. What if it's a situation where the child has an issue with your partner? And not just any issue. Maybe the partner is doing something to the child that the child does not like or whatever. You have conversations with your partner about it, but then it doesn't change.
That's wide, huh? That's
Um,
a shop you give us there. You have to pinpoint.
Very specific because we kind of
can't
touched
really
base
give
on a question
an
similar to that.
example per se because I don't really have one right now.
But no, okay, so
No,
a while
it's
ago,
not- it's not that
Steve
deep.
mentioned when I said that's something where you have to have a
It wouldn't- it
conversation
wouldn't
with your
be that
child.
deep, though.
No, it's not so deep.
Okay, maybe all right. Maybe just the way that
The man
the
speaks
part
to the child.
right. Maybe just the way that your partner speaks to the child. Maybe it might not always be a nice approach, and the child does not like it. The child is uncomfortable by it or whatever, and then you speak to your partner about it. It might just be for any random little situation. It doesn't have to be anything serious per se. We're not talking about discipline here. We're talking about just in general, just being aggressive for no reason. So, what do you do in that situation? Would you say life partner over child now? Or will you say
Is it a
child over
reoccurring
life
issue?
partner?
So she's
Yes, it's a reoccurring issue and your partner is not changing or not trying to fix the situation. What do you do?
If you'll have more than one child, and they are the same with all the children, you have to let the child understand. Okay, so if we have, maybe she has her kids and you have your kids and that person is the same way across the board, doesn't matter. Two, that's my opinion. Two, you have to be a parent before you are your child's friend. So you cannot, and I don't believe in pampering one child and doing it a different way for a child, whatever it is. You go through it, raising your child the same way. When they get older, they might be individuals in a certain way, you tweak it, this and that. But if, all right, so I'll tell you what. I grew up with a gentleman who was like my father. I knew him, we used to go out all the time, whatever it is. And because of his occupation, he was very harsh and he used a lot of profanity. And it's just because of that's how he always was. To the point his wife used to have to say, so, like, that's the kid you're talking to. And he would say, I don't give a fuck, whatever. But we all knew he loved us. All right? Because of how he was. Now, that's why I come to say, if that person is just generally that way across the board, the child needs to understand.
Comfortable as a child.
No.
Okay, so what if it makes the child uncomfortable?
There were other kids that were uncomfortable and they got comfortable with it because everybody understood that is how he was. That's what I'm telling you. I've been in a scenario like that.
So this is where the what we mentioned before about the conversation, right? It could be something as specific as that, or you just say, I don't like you with my mommy. I don't like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really just prioritizing how the child or children feel is very important here. Not because, oh, mommy have a little boyfriend, she can hang up in the night. The child doesn't matter. So I think that having that conversation is very important and really valuing their feelings in the situation.
So scenario. This one is step parent and biological parent, right? Lifelong partner. Married for over how many years? 20-something plus years, right? The child may have experienced difficulties with the step parents growing up, whether it be that they don't feel like they feel like they're being treated equally to the other siblings or whatever. They've expressed it to the biological parent, and because it's, I guess, lifelong partnership, biological parent pushes it under the rug, right? Because it's my husband this, my husband that. Now, child has gotten older. Lifelong partnership is about in turmoil now. Right? It's a hot mess. That same child has to now be the backbone to the biological parent because of the turmoil of the lifelong partner. In a situation like that, would you say that I'm always going to choose my lifelong partner?
Let me answer. All right. So I'm choosing to answer first deliberately because I want to frame it in that way. None of us know what is in store for us tomorrow. Right? And if our value set is bound on what might happen, we will not do a lot of things. I think at the end of the day, you have to appreciate the here and now. If you appreciate the here and now in terms of what it is that you're culturing, and that you're doing the right steps right now, that you're not doing anything that's going to put your child at risk, and so on and so forth, I guarantee you that there will be some play in that scenario where the life partner that is going to be getting the support from that child might be the step parent. Because that person may have created enough of a good bond with that child that even that would be the reality, when now they side with the step parent over the biological parent.
That's bullshit.
Why is it bullshit?
It's happened before, but yes.
Why is it
I'm
bullshit?
not saying it has not happened, but in the scenario that I give, the child and the step parent never got along. In the scenario that I'm giving, they do not get along. And when the child tries to express that to the biological parent chose or is choosing the partner. Now that the situation has changed, the child has to step in for the step parent. So that's why I'm
For
saying
the step parent?
yeah, because now the child has to be there for the biological parent when the situation is good on the step.
Hold on. You remember when we were filming our pilot last week? There was a scenario presented whereby we talk about that friend that's in your corner giving you all the bad advice.
Yeah.
We have to be wary of that as well. We have to be wary about even our kids and their role in contributing negatively to our relationships. We have scenarios, and that's realities that all of us have to face.
That's true.
We have scenarios you have to look at. So I understand the scenario you wanted to paint because you give it one particular direction. But I'm saying we are just forgetting the scenario exactly how you give it and think about it. You're asking us to have an opinion on something down the line. I am saying
About down the line, I just wanted to know, do you think that in a situation like that, because of the
I will tell you,
you should
always
prioritize
prioritize your partnership. Because your child rather have to come in and step in there now will either have to be one or two things. Single and disengage so they could give you the attention that you require, or messing up their relationship to try and save yours.
Yep.
That's the scenario you're going to be putting the children in because your child is not supposed to be your backbone in that scenario.
Agreed.
I still think it should be balanced.
Let's balance the conversation with Carol right now.
Let me give you a different scenario.
Wait, why moving so fast from this scenario? The rest of us didn't give opinions. Let's say what Simone has to say. Let's say what Jason has to say. I like the scenario.
Jason, I want to hear what you have to say.
No, I want to hear what Simone has to say. Simone's been rather
behind the fact.
Kill me with that.
I stick behind the fact that these scenarios are unique, and every single scenario has a different outcome. I don't fully side with you that you should prioritize your partnership, but 75% of the time I get what you're saying. No.
Not 90.
Like how you're from the
All right? Because that scenario there, if your child is not getting along with his step parent, and it's not just because, like Kay mentioned, because you should not be with my mommy or my daddy should be with my mommy or my daddy, or this person is not touching them,
Exactly.
or is not treating them bad. It's just I just don't like this person. All right? In that situation, I'll be, look, that's my wife. That's my husband. You, my child. I love you. This person is helping me take care of you. You have to suck it up and let's deal with this. Simple. But having a conversation, if there is something going on, that is where you have to figure out, should I make sure I prioritize my child or the thing?
Balance.
So everything is individualized. That's the only tricky thing about that conversation. You know, so I don't know.
All right, so Simone, do you have anything to say about that?
I would say I disagree slightly to Kurt's points, where I think, to Kay's point as well, there should be a balance. One, I think it depends on the age of the child and the level of commitment between the two people in the relationship. Of course, it comes at a certain point where you have to prioritize your relationship and your own happiness as a parent, as a human being. And you can't let the child, I'm not going to say interfere, but be the main reason why you had to let the relationship go, unless it was a really specific negative situation that the child and the step parent or step partner was in, if that makes sense.
I'm not an influencer. I really want to hear what you have to say.
What I have to say is, I'm hearing an undertone of, you cannot fully commit to somebody you're with. And I feel that if you're with someone, you should sincerely give it your all and not, I don't know what's the nature of the problem the child had with the individual. That's why talking is important. You talk to the child, try and figure out what the problem is. And at the end of the day, everybody going to leave you, and we're going to die alone. We have to have fun while you're still there. If you do your job good as a parent, the child going to leave you, and you shouldn't hold on to the child. Other parents hold on to the children as clutch and say, see, I shouldn't be with that person because I'm bothering my child. So when the child get big, you feel the child wants to see you when they're 19, 20.
No.
At that point, a normal adult want to spread their wings, expand into the world, and try and make life for their own.
It's true.
And as parents, we should give them our blessing, and we shouldn't be giving things and expecting, oh boy, when I get old, that child will take care of me. Try and take care of yourself now, so you can live a long, healthy life into the future. If you have a partner, good for you. If you don't have a partner, it's not the end of the world. If your child there, good for you. If your child not there, better for you, because that means the child's doing things. And then sometimes God take that child away from us, God take that partner away from us. Not always the person doing something against us. So be at peace with what you're doing today and leave some space for tomorrow.
But use wisdom.
Wisdom, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's essentially my point.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what we're talking about.
what I was telling you all a while ago, the one extra step. What if there's a step parent and the dynamic is working, but the grandparent is poking?
We really accept.
No, listen. But the grandparent is poking you as the parent to say that is not how the step parent should be treating their
You
child.
have no say in what happened, grandparent. You stay here as a grandparent. And you live here. No.
You were saying something?
You said we don't cut.
Directly.
You said we don't know what may happen tomorrow, right? That's a fact. So because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you're going to be one-sided and stick with your life partner.
It's not one-sided. You see,
But it is.
no, hold on. You come across and you say you don't like the parent, your stepfather, right?
Mhm.
With reason.
But with reason.
Your reason is valid, right? Is he ill-treating you?
Yes.
In some way, yes.
What way? Did you express which way?
Yes.
Okay, so let's
What's the
say
ill-treatment?
Yes.
What's the ill-treatment?
Oh, so But I explained the person's scenario. And I'm saying that the child noticed that they don't get treated the same way with their siblings. The parent is unfair to them. They discipline them more than the others would get disciplined. And so the child is bringing those things to yes, the person may be taking care of the child financially, but the treatment is not the same. And so the child is expressing that to the biological parent. And the biological parent is basically throwing it under the rug, not addressing what the child is going through.
Okay. All right. Let me answer that question for you, and we're taking it out of the realm of step-parent situation. How many of us have siblings? How many of us get the same treatment our siblings get? No, 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 no. Do not now. Okay, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, let me finish. Okay, let me finish. Okay, let me finish. Okay, let me finish. Right? Let me hear the point. Let me hear. When you look at how somebody will perceive how I'm being treated or how I may treat somebody else, juxtaposed to what? Juxtaposed to how somebody has been treated. You will look at it in some instances as unfair. You just may say, in his mind, he's giving you all your basics, right? He's giving you all your basics, but your biological mom is not addressing the fact that he is treating you differently than the others. She's not addressing it. We have to come to some understanding. We have to come to some understanding that somebody may have a biological attachment to their own, and even if they might be extending their love to somebody, it will not be equal to what they will extend to their biological. That's just normal.
That's very good.
That is just normal.
Okay. But if the child could feel it, for example, the child could then talk to their parents. You meet them with their parents. You tell the child, oh, give your mother a break. Pass it out. Don't talk to your mother. But then the other two run in.
To who?
The parent, the biological mother, to get to speak.
I confused now. I'm confused now.
I know.
I know what you're saying, but both, so that all of them belong to the same mother.
Same mother,
Different father.
different father. That's why I said step parent.
So he's their father.
He's their father, right?
He have kids with her, and she have a
You all need to listen to what I'm just trying to express. What I'm saying to you is, he is their father.
But the child is communicating with their mother about how the stepfather is treating them.
I'm hearing you.
Telling me about I as different.
Okay. You're not listening to me. You're looking to fight me and not listen to me, huh? You're looking to fight me and not listen. It will never be equal just because in that scenario, you're the only one that's not biologically his.
The child can still express that.
I never said he cannot
It's the option of the biological parent to speak to.
Okay, let's say.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that he has not, that she has not spoken to him.
But that's what I've been saying. She's throwing it under the rug. And so the child grows up feeling that.
So
you telling me
But Kay,
why?
when this relation, and you say when the relationship goes sour, the biological mother, your mother, right, is
Not
the one.
my mother, eh?
You know, the mother has to now be comforting the biological parent. The child has to be comforting the biological parent when it was the biological parent who did the wrong.
But good. I'm gonna put you. The conversation is who do you choose? The child or the parent? I am saying
Okay.
that
Okay, I heard your scenario.
But you don't, of course.
No. Listen to me. No, because you want me to go your direction.
No, you don't understand what I am saying.
All right, let's get past that.
Asking you to make a decision.
Let's get past that. You asking, but he already, but the parent already made the decision by choosing the husband.
My argument is This is why my stance based off of the decision, it should be balanced. That's why I'm saying not in every situation you must choose your lifelong
Listen,
partner.
but
That's
K,
why I
but
draw
K,
reference to that.
K, and I'm telling you this, right? The parent, you went to your biological parent.
Not mine.
You went to your biological parent and you had your discussion. She swept it under the rug, right? The father is the stepfather is oblivious as to what your concerns are. He is oblivious because the parent who you went to, right, did not address the issue. But but you just finished. You see, okay. Now you want to change this topic? You want to move the goalpost?
No,
No, tell me if you want to move the goalpost tomorrow.
This is a perfect example.
But Kay, I am addressing what you put.
Parent choosing their life.
But I am
over the
and I am addressing it. And then now you say now, and you say now when their relationship goes on the rocks, right? You, the biological child, has to support the mother that did nothing about addressing the relationship with the stepfather, right? But the mother don't need any freaking love from you. No, here I'm coming from. No, here I'm coming from. No.
Okay.
That because I was really drawing reference to the
We're
fact
straying
that
off topic, guys.
we're not straying, we're right on.
No, we are straying off topic because we're staying on this one particular point. I find it for a little too long. But I get it. You all have difference of opinions.
I just respect it and move on.
And let me
Agree
just
to
respect
disagree.
that and move on.
Agree. I literally understand both of your opinions are coming from.
No,
And you all will never meet.
I would agree with Kurt on that point about siblings. All siblings get treated differently. And you cannot help people natural preferences to one child. In an ideal world, all children will get perfect amount of love. In an ideal world, all children would see that they're getting the same amount of love. But all the children know who's the favorite child, and then somebody complain, oh, that one. And you see, especially as they don't have the same father or mother, that by itself is a point of division where the child can say, oh, it's because me and you have different parents, or I'm not that person's child. And they can internalize that as something that it may not even be. And the parent, like it said, might be oblivious to the whole thing. The stepmother might say, but the mother might say, but that's not even making sense what you're saying there. And then the relationship didn't work out for some other reason. So I wouldn't even look at that situation too hard because I'm not in it and we're just looking at it through a keyhole and we're not in the person's shoes to internalize what's going on with them. So for that one there,
the purpose of that conversation was to
choose the
an understanding of what could also happen when we decide that we're going to stick it out with lifelong partners. That's why I drew reference to that scenario. And I'm saying that sometimes you have to be. I'm watching the camera.
You're watching the camera? Sorry.
Sometimes you need to be balanced. Not every situation requires you to only choose your lifelong partner because sometimes in the long run, your children are also being affected.
Okay, so what's a lifelong partner to you?
Next question, please.
Because I figure a lifelong partner, you have to
But
choose them
you
overall.
could just said that he believes that, you should stick it out with your partner, wherever you decide to be in the relationship with. I'm drawing reference to that. So why you did not ask it what's a long life partner?
Because he clearly telling me his lifelong partner is the person he's choosing all the time.
Okay, guys.
I get that from him.
Oh God. Exactly.
I, for one, here's my 2 cents. First of all, although it may not be something that's very common in the Black community, let's put it that way, a parent does not stop being a parent just because you reach a certain age. You're supposed to be a parent the entire life your entire life, assuming that you pass before your child. No, because here's what. You can be a parent for different situations. You can be there when they purchasing their first vehicle to give them advice, to give them structure, to show them how to save money, to show them different things. You are passing on your information. You didn't just pass on your DNA. You did that a long time ago. You're now passing on information to that child, right? So you do not stop being a parent no matter what. That's one. Two, self-preservation is the basic number one human trait. Therefore, if it is that you have a partner who is treating you and the child or whatever fine, then of course, stick it out. So I'd say maybe a 60-40, 60 for the partner, 40 for the child, depending on age and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Now, like I said earlier, there are parents that may be getting it so good, they decide, boy, what that child saying is Papi sure, let me try and think there because I know when I will get so good in life again, whatever. That could be an issue. And that, I believe, is part of what you were saying earlier there in all the 3, 4, 5 different rounds and Jason firing a shot on his.
I never fired my shot on my boss.
Not on me, not on me. but
When you're done, huh?
but yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that. So for me, I would stick with the partner because of course I have to make my own self happy. So that's the 60 there. Give the child a 40. And of course the partner have to behave herself or behave herself or you never get to a situation. Make sure everybody happy and move on.
Okay.
Simple as that.
I like that. That's fair.
Simple as that. Anthony has something to say.
Yes. Let me just detour for a minute. I hear earlier on, it's like respect this person's opinion. How you could respect somebody's opinion if a cow is or comes in 2 or 3 colors, which is black, white, or brown, and then you arguing with somebody that a cow is brown and he's telling you a cow is blue. If I'm a judge and you come into my courthouse to argue with an idiot that's already make up his mind that a cow is blue, I send you to jail for 1 day to behave yourself. So you see this thing about respect people's opinion? I don't think so. Because if it's not, it's not logic, it's not fact, how you could respect? You just have to move on. But respect somebody's opinion, that's one. The other one is, as I think most all of us are parents, eh? No? Oh boy.
That's this younger generation.
Oh, so we're not young? We're not young? I didn't talk about the young. I didn't talk about the young. So
Yes, more don't have 1 year.
but hold on. When you say how old is he, you all say he's young and you all ask how old? How young is he, you should ask. No?
Yes.
You see, the Lord, but let me get to my question. The other one. Listen. What you would prefer as parents? Okay, let me put it to Jason. If you meet a young lady, okay, but anybody else could answer. If you meet a young lady and she has 1 child, okay, what you would prefer that child to call you? Mr. or your name and why? Because I know why I know what I want the child to call me and my reason. So let me hear yours, and then I will tell you why I prefer the child to call me whatever. Beg your pardon?
Mr. because you have a father.
Okay, good. Now I'll tell you something. He didn't think outside of the box. He just said call him Mr. You didn't born with Mr. He's male or female. But hear what you say. On your birth certificate, you have male and female, yes? Male and female. Yes. Good. Why I'm going there is because some people may be saying, boy, this guy has it. Let me tell you. What about if the 3 of you go out in a playground somewhere and this child putting out your business without you ask him to put it out? No, hold on. No. I'm just putting it to you where you didn't see it that way. Mr. Jason, so all the time, the family together, 3 of you, from the time the child called you Mr. Jason, everybody knows he's not your child. You never thought of it this way. Now, nobody needs to know he's not your child. Hold on, hold for me. Why I'm saying this, why I said this is because the mother asked me what you prefer the child to call me. Anthony is okay. But why Anthony? That doesn't mean he's disrespecting me. You're asking me what I prefer. I'm comfortable, just call me Anthony. Because if we're somewhere and you say Anthony because children call their parents' names, as in their name. No, hold on. Listen. My daughter is 5. My daughter is 5. And she'll tell me, she and the mother calling me Anthony all the time. But she would call me Anthony. I'll tell the child not to call me Anthony. The child will get over it. Exactly, she'll grow out of it. that thing, she'll grow out of it. So I just find if you out in a picnic or somewhere in a park, the child, from the time the child say, Mr. Jason, everybody knows that's not your child. Nobody needs to know.
My special friend.
Nobody needs to. Good. So nobody needs to know. Okay, so everybody could give their different opinion what they think.
No problem. I know that's not my child. The person who that's not my child. I don't have a problem with them knowing that's not my child.
Nobody needs to know it's a family.
Okay, sir.
So I'll answer the first thing you point to me, and that answer will answer everything that you said there. Your comfort in a relationship is upon you. If I grew up not being comfortable, and I have been told by people who are older than me and my father's friends, call me by their first name. I never felt comfortable calling them by their first name. I would just say Mr. So-and-so or Uncle so-and-so, depending on how close you are. All right? That's me. Okay? Now, going on to me telling people that I respect your opinion. That's me understanding that if I draw a 6 right there, I'll tell you it's a 6, you'll tell me it's a 9. And we are both right and wrong at the same time. Exactly. So I respect someone's opinion, even if I might not be able to see where they're coming from. I have to respect it. I might give my fact, he might give his fact. We clashing. I respect your opinion.
But Mr. Practice makes perfect.
Permanent.
Hold. Practice makes perfect.
Depending. If you're practicing the wrong thing,
You want to say yes or no with explanation? Yes or no with explanation?
Yeah.
Guilty with explanation? Go ahead.
So, if practice makes perfect, that's what you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
To you, does it?
No.
Thank you. Anybody differ?
This makes permanent.
Because no, hold on. Because why I ask him is because he's the only mister in the house. So yeah. We had to put some pick on. Yeah. We had to put some pick on in there. You know, listen, you were a bit slow for a while, you know. I was slow like you. I went to Upper Lapansi. So I met some people there and I graduated. I met them there, but I graduated before them. So I'm fast now. So yeah. So you know why? Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice. Because I'll tell you why. We raised as children, we say, don't play in your navel. Somebody who said don't play in your navel. Yeah. You know why? Listen, you know why? Our parents, because that's what they filter to us. They didn't know better, so we take it and run. But when you study, but man, if don't play in your navel, what's navel? Well, play in your navel. You understand? They say certain things to you. Oh, take the pear for me. They know it's a type of pear, but it's an avocado. But when you try and teach your mother, tell your mother, but this is not this, is that. Oh, I'm making an daddy doesn't want to learn from you. So we get these things a lot, right?
So this goes back to what I said a while ago. You have to respect people's opinions, even if you know better. You know why? Because if you don't want to go to university, you'll never get to university.
You know why they say respect people's opinion? Just for the argument's sake.
No.
I wouldn't say that.
No. I'll disagree with you now.
You know why? I worked in the hotel industry very, very long time. And guess what? I mean, the customer is always right. The guest is because they try to avoid an argument there. Because it's a very ticklish situation there.
Not the premise behind the customer is always right. Is you paying your money, so I have to cater to you.
But that's what I'm saying. So you cannot go back and forth with the customer. You just have to take but behind the scene, the manager will tell you, already.
Okay. All right. So Anthony, let me see that understanding better.
Okay. All right.
Is it saying that when you say we respect each other's opinion, even if you believe in a scenario that a customer did something wrong, just to save face, you have to accept the wrong? That's what he's saying. So, like, for example, a customer will come and tell you, this person went, she went into clean my room and she took something, whatever it is.
Yes.
True or not true, you understand? You try not to make the customer feel bad.
Good.
So you accept the liability, even
right.
you know you have evidence to the contrary. You will not necessarily bring it up because you don't want it to go beyond what it's supposed to be.
Thank you,
Liability.
thank you,
To
Kurt. Thank you.
investigate what the customer said to try and see if you would cater to them. It's not the customer.
But let's rope it in because we want to close up and wrap up on time.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So so back to your key. You okay with me now?
Yes.
We're always in war.
VOP and I have a special connection, guys.
At least y'all have kissed and made it.
Now I have a case to deal with, Ashton. Ashton, it's not your whole life you are in the classical role of being a parent. When the child is 1 to 2, you have to be that protector and nurturer of the child. But as a child grows, and that same child might end up being more aware than you know, as early as 10 years old. Because some of us, we grow older, but we do not grow wiser. And I've been in many scenarios where my little daughter, unbeknownst to her, make me think twice about what I'm doing in some simple, innocent answers or questions she asks. So I don't believe in domains. Okay, I don't believe in domains. I believe in, for now, I have the advantage over you, but today for me, tomorrow for you.
Advantage.
Yeah, I have the advantage. I know a little more, I live a little longer, I'm a bit stronger, but at some point, the child going to overtake me.
Oh, you want your children to be better than you. You want your children to be better than you. You don't want your child to be better than you?
I'm not saying that I don't want my child, but all of us have different opinions on better. That is why.
No. I mean, and I said that just today, as a matter of fact. Where I look at where I was at my son's age, at 14, and what I could have done. And I'm seeing where I was, what I was able to do, and where he is and what he's able to do. And I'm seeing there's deficiencies at the point where he's at.
Not beating the other fellas in school like you did.
I never beat nobody in school. Alright.
Separate conversations.
Alright, okay. So the greater point was that when you realize that your child has shortcomings, because okay, you had shortcomings, your own shortcomings, right? But you were at a certain level at a particular age. And you realize that even with all what you provide in your child, some of it takes away from the how you may call it the rigors of growing up. Because some of what I may have achieved because of the rigors of me growing up. But because we're giving our children that
A
softer life,
Yeah.
you pull away some of the rigors. Like I was talking to my partner recently and I was telling her, because I remember when they started to take the jeans and the blue soap and put that on the floor with a scrubbing brush and scrub all the way and so on and so forth. Right now, you tell your children to go and do laundry and they burst in there to go and put two
First of
clothes
all,
in the
the
machine.
material them thing is made of was indestructible. Eh?
Yeah, we know that. But the greater point is they have life lessons that because of what we went through, that they themselves are not going to go through. I didn't go to swimming classes, but I know how to swim, right? But for my son to learn how to swim now, most likely I have to put him in swimming classes. You understand? So those things are where I'm coming from. They have different. They have a jet. And then you know what they're going to tell you? Protective agencies going to come and tell you you're not supposed to do the children that. I mean, we have to live in the world that we're in right now.
No. No, you know that saying you say that what you just said there is I find it false. I'll tell you why. We don't have to live in the world we live in. We follow it. We fall in line to the norm. But if everybody steps to the same beat, the world will have to deal with how we live. If you get what I'm saying. All right. We all grew up. We used to be, some kids back in the day just jump off a jetty, they can't swim, their partners helping them. You go on a boat somewhere, you go on a beach, your father take you out, your uncle take you out and tell you, okay, tread water, let me show you what to do. You catch yourself. You don't have to go to thing. Now, going back to what you were saying a while ago, where I agree with Jason in the point where better is relevant to your opinion.
Yeah.
Because Jason could be a master chemist, but his daughter is an architect. Is she better or worse than him if she gets an architectural degree? You can't say.
No, I never even finished my point. You know, my point was, I would just want my child to be their own person.
Their
Because
best
what may
version.
be better for me might not be better for
No,
you.
I never said you better for you. That wasn't my point. You always want your child to
Be better than
you. That's why I said there's a big difference.
But it's still related to you, Kurt.
No. What?
Yeah, you want your child to be the best version of themselves.
Better than you. That's
Better than you. Okay.
I
so
get
Jason-
where you're coming
Jason-
from, and
Jason,
I
let's look at it this way.
understand where you're
Let's look at it this
taking it
way.
as.
You right now, you achieve a certain value in life, right? You achieve a certain value in life. Let's say you're a millionaire, right? I'm not saying that you want that for your child, but you don't want to be wherever it is that you stop to be the marker for your child to reach. Am I wrong for saying that?
No.
I want you to strive beyond that. To me, that's okay.
But he's also saying that he's not looking at it in that way.
I'm not my child's benchmark.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not my child is her own benchmark, and I will push her to be
Whatever.
the best
but
version of themselves. That's all.
Themselves.
So
Once-
the most I can do is pass on the knowledge that I have of life lessons.
Bro, we know nothing.
I don't mean we know.
No. I hear what you're saying, but a benchmark is something that you've gone through a test already, and you know where the benchmark is, right? If anybody needs to be a benchmark for your child, it ought to be you.
Okay, so let's tie it back to the conversation about step parents and blended families. And I like that point you raised about what the child doing at your home is not necessarily what the child doing at your home, because you see, children, the most endearing attribute of a child is their ability to see change faster than the average person.
To adapt.
The world I grew up in is definitely not the world my child growing up in. And there comes a point where I would not be able to see. Look, I wearing glasses already. 5 years ago, I wasn't wearing that. So that's a physical marker that I would not be able to see the world as it is. But they come with a fresh pair of eyes, they would see things that I totally unaware of. So let them be their own person.
Facts, yeah.
And let me and my life partner ride into the sunset and be at peace with what we're doing. That's my closure. Let me hear from the rest of you.
I still stick to the fact that there are certain norms when it comes to step parenting and co-parenting. I think transparency is one of my biggest things, and being transparent from the get-go as to what your expectations are as to being a step parent or a co-parent or a parent with a partner, whichever way, are one of the biggest things that you need to do. Don't tolerate things knowing full and well that if this works out, you're not going to tolerate it. You're giving a false pretense to what they might think is going to happen. So it's individual situations. I don't think anyone should take advice from anyone else because their situation works this way, that they will work for you. That's it.
Communication is key.
That's all I already heard now.
But it's the truth. Communication is key, and lack of communication and having a proper co-parenting relationship with your other co-parent is what causes or stems 99.9% of the problems. So communication.
I think
Kurt is wrong.
that along with communication, setting boundaries, and I stress on healthy boundaries, because you could set boundaries that are unhealthy,
Yeah, like not doing the hair.
right?
Clear point.
So I think setting healthy boundaries is important or has a heavy impact when it comes to step parents and co-parenting relationships. Even though the co-parents are unable to communicate with each other, at least within your household, the environment should be a safe haven, and the outside noises should not impact what's happening, the stability and the safety of your home for your family, your child, and your partner, or children and partner. As it pertains to who do we choose between the life partner and the child, I think it's good to assess the situation that you are in. Yes, it is true that your child or your children will grow old and will form bonds and relationships of their own, but you still have an obligation to that child during their growth into adulthood. And that's how I would like to close my point.
Trini Gal.
All right, so I think while communication is important, the child or children have to be at the center, but they should not be the source of or the reason why you put your happiness on hold or you sacrifice your happiness, right? As Jason's point, they have to grow into their own individual, their own lives. And as they age, you age, lives going to just separate. So just have to have that differentiation and separation.
Wait. And if you don't learn anything from me tonight, learn this. If you go out on a date and you see the woman bring her 2 children with her, walk away or run.
We're going to end on my last statement because I want to make sure this time I drop the mic. All right?
At the end of the day.
There was this video that I was privileged to watch, and my partner was privileged to watch, where they showed parents holding the kids in between them. Parents having the kids sleep in the middle of the beds.
How old?
No, it doesn't matter how old. The concept was that we tend to always put our kids between us, and eventually our kids will become what's going to prevent us from coming together.
My point is
That's essentially why you need to prioritize your relationship over just that of the child, because your protection as parents supposed to be able to give them everything that they need. That's it for me.
All right.
Catch you next Thursday on our Crew Up Thursdays, happening right here at Cuisine, the Little Bistro and Bar on Chisel Street. Remember, first round on you, next round on us.
Peace.